Almighty God, you have blessed us with memory, reason, and skill. Help us use this wisely in the service of our town government. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'll open it to the public. Anyone wishing to speak, we ask you to speak. Give your name, address, and we ask that you only limit yourself to 5 minutes. Bruce.
My name is Bruce Cyan, and I live at 872 Route 9B. I'm speaking in opposition to this EMS corporation that is proposed. I've seen articles in the paper. I am not speaking for the Rouse's Point Fire Department. I'm speaking for myself. I've been through this before, watching at our fire district when I lived in the southern part of New York State. I don't think the people are informed what's going to happen here. It's possible that Rouse's Point would not be responding to accidents on the bridge, that we would not be responding to the U.S. Customs, which is close by. We would not be responding to Route 276 at the end of Pratt Street. We would not be responding for EMS at the end of Smith Street. We would not respond to Stony Point, Point of Fair, Kings Bay, Cooperville. If they choose this EMS corporation, it's possible we would not respond to these areas. So I would hope that some citizen would take the ball and perhaps propose a fire district for those areas close to Rouse's Point. That would be a Rouse's Point EMS, or in the future a fire district, so we could respond to the areas close to the village. Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name's Susan Champlain. I live at 1677 Ridge Road. Has the new pumps come in yet for?
18th, it's a date that we're supposed to receive.
I mean, it's been since April.
I'm sorry, we're trying to do our best. We tried to repair them, it didn't work.
Are we gonna have any kind of compensation for loss of water? I mean, there's got to be something. I mean, April's a long time to wait and to buy water and haul water and not be able to take showers and flush toilets. It's ridiculous.
It is. I agree with you.
And none of us were informed of anything. I had made probably 15, 20 phone calls. It wasn't until I came in and seen you, Bruce, that you told me that the pumps were gone, which was, what, 2 weeks ago?
It's my, I'll take the blame. It's my fault.
No, I'm not blaming you.
I didn't send out, I should have sent out letters so people would know.
Well, I understand, and I appreciate the letter did go out like the following day after I came and spoke with you, but that's like 3 months after the problem already started.
Sorry, we're trying to do our best. I don't know how the board feels about doing it. Do you want to give them compensation? Anybody have anything on
First
this?
I hear, what pumps went?
The 2 pumps at the pumping station on Ridge Road.
Ridge Road Pump Station. Pumps it up.
It costs $700 to repair them, $800 for new ones. So I ordered 2 new ones. No sense of putting $700 in and have a used pump. But we can't, the 18th is the day that they're supposed to deliver. These people have had a lot of problems with their water, no water, air in the water. It's milky from the air getting in. Sometimes it has no pressure at all. I realize you've had this problem. And as soon as we can correct it, we will.
On Tuesday, have a spare in the future.
Yeah. Right there.
Oh, no.
Yes, yeah. The other 2 that we're gonna rebuild, so we will have 4 of them. 2 running and 2 spares.
I get a question also. I'm sorry I'm late. On this, is there any way we
Yeah,
can...
give us your
Sorry.
name.
Robert Rabideau, I live on the Ridge Road right beside Lisa. Is there any kind of way you guys can give us any kind of notice here when you do shut our water off or anything? Because I got a boiler in my house. You know what I mean? I don't want my boiler going try using hot water and boiler go dry. I don't get no kind of warning. I turn on water and I don't have water. That's my big, you know what I mean? That's a big problem, you know what I'm saying? I just don't want to burn up my boiler, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
I'll go down and see Sullivan tomorrow and find out what's going on. I would notify the people if they were shut off water.
Yeah.
So I'll see Sullivan myself tomorrow, and from now on, I'm gonna make sure that you're notified down there when anything's gonna be done on the Ridge Road. If they have to go door to door, they can call me and I'll go down door to door.
I'll-
Or John Paul.
My water meter's been hanging off my house for 3 years. And I've asked that it come and be hooked back up. I'm even willing to give them the equipment. I've offered screwdrivers, screws. Just, I mean, it's just hanging off the house. And a little kid runs by, they're bumping into it.
What's your
I even talked with Bruce 2 weeks ago, and Bruce said he was gonna try and get it fixed, but it's still hanging there.
I asked him, what,
What's the address on?
1677 Ridge Road. I mean, we're paying $35 every 3 months for a service charge, which I think is kind of ridiculous, and not getting any service whatsoever.
you gonna ask him
I'll
again?
see Sullivan tomorrow and find out why it's not being done.
Anyone else?
Anybody else before me? Go ahead.
We apologize for being late. We have a power failure. Joan and Bob Vertium were on 839B, and we came in just at the end of what Bruce was saying, and it our understanding that what you're looking at is for a EMS service for the local areas that are currently covered by Rouse's Point, because in fact, these areas will really have an untimely delay if we're waiting for Champlain for something to come from Elm Street. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, just the area is close to Rouse's Point. This is my own,
Right.
I'm not speaking for the fire department,
No.
but I feel there would be a quicker response. Leggett Road, Squeenor Road, 9B,
9B,
Stony
yeah.
Point, Point of Fair,
Yeah.
Iffy, but the end of Pratt Street is the town, just
Yeah.
out, just 276. I mean, you have an emergency there,
Mhm.
and this goes through, then we would not be responding, we'd be waiting for Champlain.
And I just want to say that we have had, since we've lived there since 1996, the occasion to call, unfortunately or fortunately, Rouse's Point 3 times. We were very impressed with their response. They were professionals. They did a fantastic job. It made us, as new homeowners in the area, feel really good about where we are. We also saw a car go over the side of 9B into Kings Bay, and we saw the response and the way in which they put it together and got those victims out. And consequently, they were able, they're here to tell the tale today. Delay is extremely crucial in trauma and accident and fire and emergency. My husband and I would like things to be kept local as they are, however that's done, but that there's some concessions to people who live where they are on those fringes.
Anyone else? No?
Yep. My name is Walter Conley, 506 Point of Fair Road. I addressed the board 2 months ago, and I apologize for not attending last month's meeting. I think I was criticized for not being here. I didn't think it was necessary. Actually, I had company from Florida, and we had dinner. They had dinner. I never got served, so I left. Don't ever go to the same restaurant again, Walt. I guess I'm looking for a solution to the problem that you created. I think the solution to the problem as it exists right now would be to close and remove both of the culverts that dumps the water on my land. If I do not get a satisfactory yes from your board and your supervisor, I intend to see my lawyer. I have already talked to him, and he says I got a darn good case. So I don't want to hire him unless it's necessary. So you tell me what you're going to do, and I will go from there.
The three guys were down there with the county, right?
You want to say anything on that?
Well, go ahead, Joseph.
We were down there 3 weeks ago
I would say so.
with the county engineer and told him about the situation that was there. He said that the town was in right by cleaning that ditch out. He didn't talk to any landowners on there, so he had nothing to write about with anybody.
and he says since that ditch was between you and your neighbor, that maybe the town, with your permission, could go and just clean that ditch out so you could mow through it. And that would be your call because we have to have permission from you to do this. And he said if he doesn't give you permission, then do nothing. As far as the culvert going across the road, they changed the culvert, and he said it was advisable to move it the way our highway superintendent did. He said whenever you move culverts, they always put them for direct flow, and that's what he did. They didn't take the other one out yet, and that's because they haven't had time to start with. So that's where we are with that. As far as the land on the north of you, that's strictly between neighbors. That right of way-
You're saying you
That
will
right of
not-
way does not belong to the town, it belongs to the
Are you
landowner.
saying you will not remove the culvert? Are you saying you will not remove the culvert?
We were advised by the county to leave it the way it is.
You were advised by the town engineer. Okay. That's the answer that you give me. Very good.
And that's why we called them in on it to see
We will see in
what the procedure was to do this.
The lawyer says I have a damn good case, so we will see you in court.
You got anything to add to that?
That's basically what he said, Joe. He'd have done it the same way.
The water that has been dumped on my property in the last few days has been ridiculous. And I think I showed you the pictures. And I know we've had a lot of rain in the last few days, but this is the first time that has ever overflowed. And I don't believe it's right for you people to have that culvert there dumping the water from that back land, which is not inhabited as of right now, and they dug it without the permission of the owner, and the person is not supposed to be here tonight, but I see he's not here. But I think it's a crime what you people did, and I think you should be punished for it. So it's going to happen, gentlemen. It's going to happen.
The highway superintendent cleaned the ditch to start with, and I don't know how that created more water, but by cleaning it out,
You
he
saw
had to
what
put a
they
new
did in
culvert
the
in,
back
because the
lot.
culvert was there, it was blocked up, so he put a new one in. He didn't put it in the exact spot, because it was better to put it in a straight flow, and the water had been flowing through that ditch since 1967, I recall, right?
I was going to plug that up.
Well, that's your, that's your- you can
And I
do that.
said I
That's up
would
to you.
plug it, but I would give them permission if they would dig a trench down to the lake. At that time, there was hardly any water coming from the back lot. You have now violated the property owner's property on the back lot, and you have dug it up so that there is a volume of water coming down into the new culvert, which is far in it, way more than they ever had there before. And I showed you the pictures. My land was overflowed with water because of that. You want to see the pictures? I have them here. You saw them. This was the flood yesterday.
Well,
I want something
anybody
done
get
about it. I
involved
want the water
yesterday
kept
must be
off
looking
my
pretty hard.
property. If you don't do it, you're gonna have a problem, I'll tell you. I want it removed, and if it isn't removed, and you're promised to remove it within a couple of weeks, you're gonna see my lawyer. That is my promise, gentlemen.
If you want us to clean the ditch on your property,
I
and
don't
give us
want
the
you to
easement
clean
to
the
go
ditch
across
right
and we'll clean
now.
it.
I have made up my mind. I want it removed. I cannot take the volume of water that is back there unless you dig and put a huge culvert or tube, whatever you want, down to the lake.
He told us it was not advisable to put a pipe to the lake, it'd be better to leave an open ditch. A closed pipe would freeze up and have more
Take the
problems.
culvert out, or put it someplace, put it on the property owner that's making all the problem for me. I want a solution to the problem. I do not want that culvert there. I don't want the water from the back lots onto my land. I don't care what your engineer said. I told you I'm mad and I'm really upset about it. And unless you do something, like I said, I'm going to my lawyer, and he said I have a damn good case.
We can get the engineer down again, see if he's got a different solution.
I want it done within the next few days, because I'm tired of the nonsense going around. I want to put the dirt back in so I can mow my lawn and not have to clip the edges of that ditch. I've been cleaning the ditch, both the one that runs parallel to the road. I've been doing that for years, and I've been doing a nice job of it, if I don't mind complimenting myself. It's a heck of a job to do, mowing the lawn back on a slant like that, and a slippery grass that there is sometime. But you gentlemen, I'm just asking you to do something that's really what you should be doing. Take the culvert out.
Put it
Both
where the other one
culverts.
was? Both culverts. The other culvert's
Both
been there for,
culverts.
been there for,
Both culverts. The only reason
Heaven
I
knows
allowed
when.
that was because I allowed you to put a ditch down there. The town dug the ditch. I let them dig the ditch. The only way that I would let them keep that culvert there. That culvert's probably like this. The one you got down there is like this. And it's draining water onto my land galore. Last chance, gentlemen, I'm telling you. Take it out,
If
or
we,
take the consequences.
if we take them culverts out, what happens if water comes over the road?
We will.
I don't think you would ever get it that high.
How long's the first culvert been there for how many years?
oh, I don't know, it's an old cement one that's
They put it in
separated.
1967 or 8, I believe it was.
So if it was put in 1967, we're not gonna take it out today. It was put there for a reason.
You take the other one out because you said it was dangerous, and it was not. That's the reason I was told that you put the other one in. And if it's dangerous, if it's going to be collapsed, you might have a problem and get sued if somebody goes over that culvert and a car gets in a wreck because of a broken culvert. So you take the chance on that, it's not my problem. But that's the reason I was told that you people put in the new culvert. But there was no reason to dig that property back there and make all that water come back onto my land. Like I said, I've never had this problem before, and I don't want it again.
Does anybody got any suggestions?
I'm going by what the engineer of the county told us. What was about, how to handle that problem, and that's the way it's been handled. He said the water's been going between those two pieces of property, you can't stop that. If you wanna stop it, that's up to you.
It's all on my land. It's not between, it's on my land. That ditch is on my land. I will plug it up. I will plug your culvert up. If you do not remove it, I will plug it. Guaranteed. Tomorrow, too.
Do what you have to do.
Very good. I thank you, gentlemen. We'll see me in court.
Mr. Joe, I didn't get your last name, I'm sorry.
Are you
Joe
speaking to
something.
me? Are you speaking to me?
Yeah,
Joan, the last name is Bertium, B-E-R, I'll spell it.
Dr. William.
B-E-R-T-H-I-A-U-M-E. My husband is Robert.
Anyone else from the public?
Denise Dugan Savage, 23 Clark Road. I'm building right now, and I'm sure you've seen me walk in out of this office in the last week. Your building code inspector, who doesn't have his license yet, came to my house without my permission, went through my garage that I'm building. Left a note on my door, which I was right inside the screen door. There's no reason why he couldn't knock. Told me I had to call him as soon as possible. I called, he told me I had the wrong plywood on my garage, that it wasn't legal, I needed to pull it off. Well, I went above his head and I called Dave Hall, your regional building code, and everything is up to par. He gave me a steel garage line out. And he was standing right in my garage, and he knows it's wood, and was complaining about the plywood. Then he tells me I don't have a garage permit, and I paid $168, so. I would like a copy of your law codes from 2001, when I first bought my building permit, and I know my garage was on it, because I have a copy, somebody scribbled it out and did not initial. And I want a copy for 2003.
2 permits?
No, I don't want permits, I want the law code, copy of the law code books that you have, which I'm allowed to have. If I have to pay for a fee, oh, what the hell, I already paid $168 for a house that's already built.
For that, Mike?
So law code book, which book you talking about?
No, Dave Hall said I have a right to have it. For 2003, it's a law code book stating all fees and rules and regulations.
It's a resolution passed by the town on what they charge for building fees.
Whatever it takes, because I feel I'm getting, this is awful, we pay taxes, a big amount of taxes, you turn around and I'm paying $168 for my house. The basic structure of my house is already up. So actually I paid $168 for a 24 by 38 garage.
Can you get her a copy of that?
If she tells me what she wants, I can get her a copy, but I still don't understand what you want.
I'll call Dave Hall back and get the legal name for you.
I call him, fine.
I did, you told me to.
I know, I talked to him.
Don't yell at me.
It would be appreciated, thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, an EMS problem that you're having. According to the newspapers and the lawyers, you people are already being advised that you can make the decision without the permission of the taxpayers. Can we get an insight onto how this is going to go with all of you? How you're going to vote, or how you're going to feel about it? Unnecessary vote, but how do you feel?
I personally feel,
Yeah.
I don't think we have any other choice.
Okay.
Then
I personally feel like if we don't do this, we're not getting volunteers. People are not volunteering anymore. And if we don't have people for the ambulance, and somebody's laying on the floor, we're gonna call Plattsburgh, and they're gonna come and pick up somebody, and take them back to Plattsburgh? They're gonna lay there for an hour? I just can't see any other solution.
Okay, in this problem, is the EMS part here going to service all of the town, including Rouse's Point and the Champlain Village?
No, not the village of Ross's Point. The village of Ross's Point does not want to join this right now.
And the village of Champlain?
They're already in.
Okay. And how does this affect us in terms of the fire department, which we are serviced by Rouse's Point? According to the paper, the article that I read, you haven't made a decision yet on which way you're going or what you're going to do about this problem.
That's not us. That's a fire district, like I said. They're negotiating with the village of Ross's Point right now, as far as I know.
Because this will, in turn, if it changes, affect my insurance.
Yeah. On the ambulance service, if you have paid people at Champlain Fire Station, they probably would get to your house faster than calling Ross's Point. People come from their home to the station and to your house.
How many ambulances are we talking about? Because you got a lot of territory to cover.
One. And then they go to mutual aid, just like they do now. We're trying to do the best we can for the people of the town.
Okay, so you're saying we'll have one paid ambulance, it's going to come out of Elm Street and Champlain, right? Okay, we'll have paid staff 24/7, that's what you're doing?
I believe so, right, Ken?
We'll have paid staff during the daytime.
What's
Okay.
happening at night?
We'll rely on the volunteers at
Okay.
night till we can start making it paid.
Okay,
With the rate that the volunteers are not responding or leaving, or not volunteering,
mhm,
I personally think that everybody's going to be paid in 10 years.
mhm.
Crew,
Oh, I know this is
Keysville, Morrisonville, Schuyler Falls, Saranac, Dannemore have all gone to paid people.
I personally hope you all get together and make it one town instead of
I
three
wish
different
we would.
locations.
We've asked Ross to point us a
That's
number of
why.
times.
If we could make it one department, that'd be the greatest thing.
Hey, I'd go for
Save a
that.
lot of money tax-wise by
Okay.
joining together. believe
All
me.
right. But the fire piece, that's...
Fire piece is up to the Champlain Fire District.
Okay.
You have to go to one of their meetings and tell them what you want.
Is that what we do, Bruce?
Yes, that's the 19th.
Okay, you let us know.
So, I'm sorry, it's
Go-
okay.
go ahead.
No, I'm finished, I've lost the thought.
The lady in the back.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just have a question about the ambulance.
Could you give us your-
Yep, my name's Stephanie Rabideau from 1673 Ridge Road. I just had a question about the ambulance. So you're going to have paid people on during the day, but it'll be volunteer at night. So you're going to be having the same problem that you're having now at night. Why don't you just wait until you can pay at night to switch over? So that you have someone paid 24/7 rather just during 8 to 4. That doesn't make much sense.
Well, we have more volunteers at night because most of the people work during the day. The volunteers do it on their time off from work. That's why they're more readily available at night. Now, if you want to go to paid 24/7, just cough off a lot more tax money, that's all. We're willing to go 24/7, if it takes money to do that.
So why don't you just wait until you have the money to do that?
Wait for how long? Till 5 people die or 1 person dies or what?
A lot of people join the fire department, they sign up and you don't see them.
Where does the 60,000 come from? You had transferred $60,000 to the ambulance?
Out of the fire district's money that are already given the ambulance department now. Am I right, Ken? That's the way that works.
That's the way we.
There's not any more money.
No.
District
Still
has-
There's no more money spent here. They're dividing this out. Right now, the fire company gets X number of dollars. They're gonna take less money and give it to the ambulance service. In other words, instead of giving 1 check, it'll be 2 checks.
On your tax bill, you're gonna get two.
It shows on
two
your tax
charges.
bill how that's,
Ambulance service and fire service.
And it'll come out to the same.
same dollar at the end of the year.
That's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen.
Because when you get
History
covered,
shows you.
you're gonna want 2 more EMTs, you're gonna want another ambulance, and that money's gotta come from somewhere.
What's the answer, Bruce? Give me an
Yeah,
answer.
give us the answer,
I don't have
Bruce.
an answer, but,
No,
We gotta do something.
volunteers, and we won't even
You can't
go to
keep, you
paid.
can't keep waiting. These guys are getting older, you're not gonna have anybody.
I would like to see
You've
them
got
both
other
joining
towns-
together, but
You've got other towns, with more than
Great,
6,000 people,
come on.
they have one deal.
Ross's Point wants to come, let's
Well,
get together.
what's the answer? Why won't they join together? You say they're going to have to.
I think one of the problems is we're going through the village board, the fire department meets once a month, and we get everything third hand, and we get it a month late.
But why don't you go to your village board and complain to them? No, you don't.
I don't live in the
coming
village,
here,
I'm coming
you
here to
don't go
complain, 'cause
there.
I don't live in the village. And I'm upset because other people don't seem to be interested. I'm glad that these people have come. But
But I don't
I've seen this happen
understand what's
in
happening.
other areas.
I know you saw it happen in other areas 20 years ago. This is 20 years later.
I think that everybody's gonna have to go paid.
Guys, we did it mutually. we
Not
did
in
it.
10 years, but in 5 years.
Yeah, I agree
Because
with
we
you.
don't have the
I
manpower.
agree
I
with
agree
you.
with you.
And we
So we're
wish
doing
that-
crisis avoidance by doing it now, not in 5 years from now.
I'm just concerned about the coverage close to the village.
I seen it happen today, and I'll speak on it. I wasn't gonna say anything, but I will. Is, I was at a gentleman's house. His pager went off. He couldn't go, he had to take the lady he was with to the doctor's at 2:30. That pager, I watched my watch, that pager went off 4 times. It went off once, waited to try to get people, this was in Ross's Point. Ran off again, waiting to get people. 4 times this happened. Then after the 4th time, they must have got somebody. But it was a good 14 minutes, paging, trying to get somebody there. And I'm not blaming any department. What I'm saying is, and I had this years ago, and I'm gonna say it, when I worked for Oral Parsons, he was an undertaker here that run an ambulance service, and I worked for him. At that time, some gentlemen came and wanted to start this ambulance business. First thing I said, oh, no, we're doing a good job. I was only had basic first aid. I was like some people said, no, it ain't gonna work. The best thing that ever happened was them to start that ambulance service. They've saved more lives than I could have ever saved. I was transporter, that's all I did. One time I had a baby to deliver. I was scared to death. I didn't have to deliver a baby, didn't know the first thing what to do. We finally made it to the hospital before it happened, but I was gonna admit, I was scared. I never delivered a baby before. So what I'm saying is this, when they started this, we were against it, but it was the best thing that happened. And I'm like Bruce, I've looked at the situation, I don't see any alternatives. If there's an alternative, I'd like to listen to it. It's gotta be paid, because you're not getting, I got a nephew that's an EMT now. But he says he doesn't know if he can go any further, he's got a family, he says, I'd like to become further up. But he says, I just don't have the time with my family and working and everything else. These companies now, years ago, when I was a fireman and everything else, Sheridan and Harris used to do the same thing. If you get a call during the daytime, go ahead, go. These companies say, no more, no more. We don't do this. We're paying you for 8 hours, you stay here 8 hours. So it's a thing that, it may be not the best solution. The best solution is like I told this gentleman today, the best solution is all the community, Rouse's Point, Champlain, and everything get together and be one. But we can't seem to get there. It may happen. I'd like to see it happen very shortly, but that would be the best solution. But I don't know of any other solution without that, than what these gentlemen are trying to do. And they are saying you're going to be charged. The ambulance service is going to be charged. If I call it and they come to my house after, they're going to charge me. Who's making out by not being charged? Are we getting a reduction on our insurance because we have free ambulance service here? They don't say, well, I'll take $50 off your policy this year and you don't have to pay that because you got free ambulance service in your area. They don't do that. So I'm paying insurance, why not let them collect it and help the taxpayers, the other taxpayers? I mean, that's my feeling.
Yeah, I agree on that.
At the end of the day, what we'd like to do is, yes, I don't want this to turn into Champlain versus Ross's Point. It's not about that. We've asked Ross's Point to join the fire district. We've asked them on this occasion. They chose not to do it. They're a great department, great bunch of people, just like we are. We're a great department too. At the end of the day, as long as when you call and pick up the phone and you get an ambulance in a timely manner, that's what matters. And we can provide that, so can Ross's Point. But the way the district's set up, that's the way it's got to be. We've been down this road before. We've talked about it for the last 6 or 7 months. Public meetings, all that kind of good stuff. And it's probably not, yes, we'd like to do 24/7. That's what Kenny's trying to do. But you got to start somewhere. And that's the whole thing. It'd be great to do 24/7. At the same time, we're trying to do it so they don't affect taxes. Will taxes go up? You know, Bruce, you're not the only taxpayer in town. I am too. And so
Down the line, they're gonna go up.
well,
Don't they always go
up, Bruce?
Yeah.
But what are you getting?
Inflation goes up, taxes go up.
You know, what are you getting? Is it right that we go to door and beg for an ambulance every year and do that? If Sam came to my door and begged for a backhoe, I know I wouldn't vote for him. You know, so I mean, but we're expected to do that. You know, and those days have to stop. So we've tried. We work well with Ross's Point, and we'll continue to work well with Ross's Point. We would like it better if they would join us. That's neither here or there because we've already been down this road before. And Bruce, I know you feel the same way. If you want that to happen, I think you're at the wrong board meeting. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I know what,
I mean, so the only way you can do it, last ditch efforts, is to come here and try to put a kibosh to it, but.
And we're lucky that we got gentlemen like this, because I think it's Beekman, correct me if I'm wrong, that contracts with Champlain Hospital. They've got to come way out of the hospital to Beekman Town. I think I remember back, they say, well, hospital would like to take care of this area too. Do you figure what that would cost the taxpayers? If we say, okay, you bring an ambulance in here and build a building and house it and everything else, and we'll pay the hospital for all the ambulance service. These gentlemen are trying to do it to keep it in a community service. I mean, nothing is free today.
And when we say
To me, the only ones that's making out is insurance companies.
Anyone else?
just the reason I'm here is that I think the public should know what's going on, and I think this discussion is helping, that the people that watch it on TV and read it in the paper will know what's going to happen. And I don't think that's happened up to this point.
Well, we've tried, you know. The reporters are always welcome to these meetings. It's a public meeting.
Actually, this is the
We're
first
not
time.
going door to door to tell everybody, no, because I don't have enough time to do that, and I'm not about to do it.
Well, Bruce did, and we were really glad that he passed by, so this is a good
This is
article.
the first time we've
Yeah.
The first article that came out was an article in North Countryman, I don't have the exact date, I don't want to hold up your meeting. Was an article about the Ross Point Fire Department, they're going to consider charging, am I right? That was the first article that came out, we were shortly after. There's been several articles in the paper, and we've been at these town board meetings.
But you don't get the press here. You know, you don't get the press here to write an article or anything else. They may stop in and say, what happened at your meeting? Let me read your minutes. And then they write something on that. They don't hear the whole, because he writes the minutes, but it's condensed.
Anybody can put an article in the press public, and you just need to go online and write to them, and they'll come right to your house.
No, I've been online, and I've asked them to cover this and to let the people know, and she keeps saying, I'm doing research, I'm doing research, I'm doing research.
Is it
And meanwhile,
Suzanne?
it's coming up for a vote.
I got one here from Suzanne Moore.
Her article is good.
The other day, she said, her editor, I think, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, she said her editor would put it in when he got it because it wasn't really used.
Unless there's a lot of controversy involved.
Yeah.
She's been trying to get it, Suzanne Moore's been trying to get it.
She's good, yes.
Well, it's not really newsworthy for the whole county. You know, what can the girl do? She can only
That's
do so
right.
much.
And she did a good job on this article here. Yeah.
Lady in the back.
Again, Lisa Trombley. Another problem with our water is it's not drinkable. Is there gonna be anything done with the water at all on the Ridge Road, or the water is just, I mean, we're paying a lot of money, and what really upset me is from April until now, not having any pressure, not being able to flush toilets and take showers, and it's ridiculous. But you can't even drink the water.
I mean, I live in the village of Champlain, I drink the same
Yeah,
water.
but not that water. Some of that water is
Well, that's what I
Our water
heard
is,
about
our water is
Been happening.
Disgusting.
I didn't know that.
Guard your line,
Huh?
I had a
you're
whole
cleaning
bunch.
the line and
Yeah, but sometimes, I don't know if he's got the pressure to get up there
Push it.
to push it. That's why I could drop the problem.
I've got all your
Yeah,
questions,
yeah.
I'll go down and see Sullivan tomorrow and see what I
Yeah.
can find out what's going on. He's taking care of the town part, we hire the village to take care of the town water system. And
You
myself
people
and
buy
John
water
Paul-
and we'll reimburse you for it until we get the water.
You're talking until the 18th, we've been like this since April.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking, what, another week?
It's
That's
not,
April? I mean, it's ridiculous. And with it's a,
We've had times when our water would come out of our faucet and in our washing machine, and it's brown.
ruining
It's-
clothes.
You can't wash your clothes because you're washing it in brown water.
Myself and John Paul, did you ever hear that, John? Did Sullivan ever mention that to you, about it being brown water up there? Say, I knew nothing about this.
We get that a lot in the village too. They don't reimburse us. You just gotta live with it. I mean, that's the way it's
why are
system
we
is.
paying,
Why
why are
should
we
we pay
paying all the
something?
service charge?
Why should our wells, why should it be forced upon the people
Yeah.
and have their wells filled and not be compensated for the wells that were filled?
That was probably done way
That was the
before
health
you were there.
department did that.
That was the town also. The town was involved in it. I know it
Oh,
was
yeah, yeah, they were
DEC.
involved
I
with
know
the
it was
health
involved.
department.
I've
It had to be
researched it. But it shouldn't have been forced upon us. If that be the case, and if that's what we gotta live with, we should have been able to live with our well water. Not with water that we have to pay for. Our well was already paid for. I'm sorry.
The big thing is, you call them and ask them why we're paying a lot more than the village. They're telling us because they're putting more chlorine in it. They're trying to purify it so you can drink it. I smell sulfur. I get brown. Like they say, we're ruining stuff. Literally ruining stuff. You can't have white clothes in our house because you can't wash them in our house. It's ridiculous. If we're
It's
paying
all-
that much for a service charge, I should have crystal clear water. I should be able to do
drink it.
whatever I want with that water. If I'm paying that much for water, I'm paying how much more than the village?
I don't think you're paying any more.
Yes, we are.
They paid double.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
They're only paying 35. We pay 35.
They paid double the rate.
They pay double. Yeah. Anybody outside the
I thought
village,
that
outside
district
was
wasn't paying
double.
double.
they pay.
So they pay more than we do.
That's what they charge us.
Yeah.
The village charges us double of what you people pay.
Right.
We just pass it
I got,
on to these people. We don't make any money on it.
I think I got the rates in my briefcase there. I can bring it out.
Sewer's the same way, it's double the rate of the village.
Well, I thought there was something in there with Wyeth, when they put that in, that wouldn't be double.
No, no, they would, oh yeah, they had so much to use up. When that was used up, then they had to pay the full amount.
Why
That's
paid
been
part of
gone.
it, right?
That's been gone quite a
It's my
while.
understanding that Wyatt paid for everything.
$1,000.
Yes, Wyatt did.
He's saying that Wyatt paid some of it. Wyatt paid for everything.
Wyatt paid the whole thing. Wyatt paid the whole thing, and then they had some money left, they left it in the kitty, and that was divided up among all the people on that until it was gone. It has been gone now, I think, a year. I think it's a year, I'm not sure. That,
Almost two.
that money was gone, so you had to start paying the full shot.
Right. Well, where is this $35 service charge? Where's that going?
That's going because, like, you got the 2 new pumps that he's buying now. The law says you have to charge it, that money, the $800 apiece for each pump, has to be charged to that district. You're in that district, the Ridge Road or the landfill district. Those pumps have to be charged to that district. So you've got to get the money, that $35 is going to be taken, it's going to be, what happens is the town takes it out of the town funds. Then that $35 pays back to all the taxpayers, because people down on Route 9 shouldn't have to pay for pumps for up there. They're not getting the water.
But when your
So
water-
you've got to use that to pay the debt.
But when your water bill is $60 and then you got a $35 service charge, that's a little ridiculous. When
It's
you're
not-
paying over half of what your water is in a service charge, that's,
I pay $35 in the village for a service charge.
I just find it to be
And
really
that's
ridiculous.
for upkeep. I pay the same thing, plus
And then we're
my
paying for the water on top of
I pay half
it.
the rate that you pay for water, but I do pay the $35 for the service charge in the village.
But
That's
I'd
for
like to see
upkeep.
where it's going, because I've asked for 3 years just to have something screwed to my house, and I told them I was gonna do it myself. And they told me that if I touched it and something was to fall off the back of it, that they could fine
No,
me
I-
for tampering
I
with it.
I didn't know that.
So, I mean-
I got this written down.
Where's that $35 going?
I have to take them up there myself by hand.
But we should be able to drink our water, we should be able to shower in our
I've got to
water.
find a reason, like I say, I live on South Street. My water, I drink it all the time, it's clear. Why it would be dirty up there, I'm gonna find out. It just should be coming off the same line.
You don't have enough pressure up there.
Because of the pressure?
No, it's like that all the time.
It was
has
like this
nothing to
before
do
the
with-
pressure.
When you had the pressure, it was still like
I've
that?
been there for 2 years.
And it's
3
been
years.
like this.
And it's been that bad.
So I'll check it out, because I didn't know this.
For the job, they should have had a bigger pump, put more pressure up over the hill. But that was what they did.
That's why it's good for you people to come to the board and let us know.
What is stopping us from putting a well in?
Putting what?
What is stopping me from putting a well in? I didn't sign no paper saying that. When I bought my house, I didn't sign no paper saying I want to put a well in.
Let's stop.
Again, the law states, you can, I could even in the village put a well in and go to a well. But I'm gonna pay that $35 service
They
charge
can up there
anyway.
without getting permission.
Without-
On account of that contamination of the
No, up there, I'm
landfill.
talking about it in the village.
You can, but they can't.
They can't. They can't without the, like Ralph says, up there, because of the contamination that was from the dump, you can't do it without permission from the health department.
When have they did last testing back there?
Tested every year.
Yeah,
And they're still coming up with
still
contamination?
coming up.
Why don't we still get reports? Why don't we?
I'm just saying, we don't know nothing that goes on back there, you know what I'm saying? You'd think they'd let us know, yeah, you're on this water line, this is why, this is what we're coming up with. You just don't, you know what I mean? We don't get told nothing down there, we don't even get told when the water's getting shut off.
Yeah,
You go to take a shower and there's no water.
or the
What's wrong
washing
with our
machine,
water?
or the washing machine runs for 2 hours with no water going through it, where I went down and did my wash, not realizing that there's no water, and almost burnt up my washing machine because it ran with no water going through it. Or like he said, our furnaces. We've had people come in, we've hired people to come in to look at things because our thermostat went in our furnace, and he said more than likely that was the problem.
I'm just saying, there's no
There's too much.
compensation here at all. We, you know what I mean? I've called, Lisa's called, I went and saw Lisa because she lives next door and said, do you have water? No. She says, I've been calling all day. I call all day. You know what I'm saying? We can't get a hold of nobody. All we get is answer machines.
The town says call the village, the
Yep,
village
so
says talk to the town.
Mm-hmm.
And we just
So-
get a runaround. We're just tired of the run out around, you know what I mean? We have to live with this water, you know what
I
I mean?
understand that they want us to call the village, but my understanding is I pay the bill to the town. I should not have to deal with the village. If I have a problem, I should be able to.
Your furnace is not gonna run out of water. Your furnace uses a gallon of water a year, uses that. It's a closed system. All you need
You
is a
got
check
a-
valve
no.
on your.
You've got a bundle that runs your domestic water.
And if you run that hot
You're
water
using domestic
without-
water, you can clean that bundle out.
Right. If you're not knowing that your water's turned off, it's in a holding tank. It's a holding tank that's on your furnace. You turn your hot water on, and then there's no water pressure, you have no water source coming in, you're running that water out. What's left in there?
That don't come from the inside
Air.
of your furnace, that's just your coil.
It's at the top of the furnace.
The old type.
No, it's old time.
I've installed boilers, I've worked on boilers, I pulled
Yeah.
mine apart and
Yeah,
fixed
I
mine.
know what you're
There's a
saying,
bundle
but I
in it that
had
runs
Yeah.
domestic.
And then it's full of air, and then it heats and heats and heats and heats
Yes.
air.
Coil in the furnace.
Yes.
Yes.
And heat it my water off.
Anyone else?
So,
This is a survey that you sent out, listening to all this, I don't know what this is gonna do.
We're just looking to see if people are interested. If they are, then we'll try and get money. Calvin?
Yeah, Calvin Castine, Ridge Road in Champlain. I'm very glad I got well water.
Can we hook in?
For a fee.
Be less than 35?
you'll see some water hoses running.
I got two things I'd like to bring up if I could. One is, I know the village of Rouse's Point is going to be doing some kind of resolution, and I'd like to urge the town to also take the bull by the horns here as far as Wyeth goes. You know, Wyeth is laying off a couple hundred people within the next couple of months. There's all kinds of rumors about how long they're going to be here. I think the town has got to be active on this. You've got to get the neighboring towns involved. If that plant closes, there's a lot of people in Morris, Shazy, Ellenburg, and so on that are going to be losing jobs. This should be a coordinated effort, but you need to get out to your higher-up politicians. The county should get involved. Our local state representatives, Ortloff and Little, and even our state senators, because these jobs are not just leaving the state, they're leaving the country. And if it doesn't stop with the grassroots efforts, it's going to happen. So the town can't wait and just wring your hands and say, what can we do about it? Maybe there's nothing you can do about it, but you got to at least try, and you got to work at the upper politicians to do whatever they can to keep these jobs not only in Rouse's Point, but to keep these jobs in New York State and keep these jobs in the U.S. It's not just our problem. It's happening all over. I was at a meeting over the weekend where it was the first reunion of the Sheridan Harris former employees, and a lot of people moved out of the area, and you see people you haven't seen in 15 years because they had to leave the area. A lot of the local people have gone to 2 or 3 different jobs because they go to a Canadian company or whatever, or an out-of-town company that would be in town for a while, get the tax breaks, then they're gone, then those people have to start looking for another job again. We need stable jobs. Wyeth has done that for 70 years, and I think the town should do whatever we can to work with politicians at a higher level. Okay? My second thing is, I hope it's going to be taken as good news. I got a copy for each of you. It's big letters, because I know some of you guys have bad vision, including me. So I'd just like to read it, and then the most historic piece of property in the entire town of Champlain is the old Dewey farmland situated between the villages of Champlain and Rouse's Point. The last time that United States of American soil was invaded by ground forces was September 6, 1814. Those invading forces, some 14,000 strong, according to Pliny Moore, comprised of British troops, Canadian voltigeurs, and their Indian allies camped around Dewey Tavern on the Dewey homestead. They also rested there on their retreat from the Battle of Plattsburgh, burying their dead on the property. Famed local historian Alan Everest called Dewey Tavern possibly the most historic building still standing in the whole county of Clinton. If you know or care anything about the importance of retaining sites of historical significance, then you realize that we of this generation have to preserve a part of this property for public use for future generations. It is not only a piece of town of Champlain or Clinton County history, it is the camping and retreating site of the last ground forces that invaded our nation. This is national and international history. A portion of this land must be set aside now while it is still available. Thanks to the fundraising efforts of the entire community, our group, the Bob Ben Park Committee, will shortly be able to own 5 acres of this most desirable piece of the farm. The money to achieve this purpose came about through the generous financial assistance of all the people in the area who supported the Champlain Telephone Company auction of 6 years ago, the raffle of 2 years ago, those who supported the mammoth garage sale items that were donated by the Venn family, and those who purchased the Town of Champlain 2000 history book that we published last year. The Town of Champlain has demonstrated its support by making this book available for purchase here at the Town Clerk's office, and we are grateful for the Town's support. It won't be many years before there won't be any open land between the two villages. We keep talking, tonight we hear it again. The town, the villages got to get together. Well, it won't be that many years where there won't be any land between the two villages that's open. The property in question is strategically located midway between the two existing villages, nearby our central school. The 5 acres are probably the most desirable acreage remaining, even without considering the history. This past Sunday, as I drove back from Alberg down to Prospect Hill Road, when we drove past the golf course, we found it literally buried in water. Yet half a mile away, this property, because it's on a little knoll, because of its elevation, remained completely accessible. This is an unequal location for a town park. It has the history of international significance that should be exploited for tourist purposes. It's in the middle of our town's population centers. It's within the site of the school. It is away from the heavy and dangerous traffic along Route 11, and it preserves valuable green space for the future generations. Its condition is such that you could immediately turn it into a needed soccer field and or baseball field with a minimum of effort. As soon as we obtain the outright ownership, we are prepared to donate this property over to the town. The community has supported this end for the past 6 years, and we now feel it's time that it should happen. So we're ready to, as soon as we are able to sign that property over, we're ready to donate it to the town. We're not going to sell it to you, we'll give it to you.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Bruce Barker. I'm the fire chief in Champlain, and I feel it would be negligent to not at least discuss a few issues that we have and concerns that we have. Before I start my statement, I'd like to say that I have nothing but the most utmost respect for Ken LaPlante and the current EMS squad. We have the best of the best, including Rouse's Point, and this conversation or comments are not about that. They are the best that anybody can have. I just would like to make a public statement as the fire chief in representing the fire department and my officers that we are wholeheartedly behind the concept of hiring a paid service. It has to happen now. We need it now. These people have given all they can give. To be an ALS or BLS technician involves unbelievable commitment and time, along with your daytime activities and jobs and families and so on. So there's no question as to what has to be done, and there's been a lot of effort and a lot of work put into this. The only thing I want to make as a public statement is the only concerns that we have are, and we've made these concerns to the Ambulance Corporation and I've been to all the meetings that I was invited to, is the concern of taking over the entire township January 1st, 2004, and not having enough money in place to hire these paid people immediately effective as of the contract beginning date. And obviously, money is going to be generated as they go and as they work by call, per call you'll be charging, along with the budget that they're going to be taking out of the fire district, that's what they operate off of now, which they absolutely have to take to operate off of, and the current contract money with Rouse's Point that was for fire and EMS that's going to go to the EMS to get this project off the ground. So all our concerns is that this project be viable and that it's going to be able to operate. I know there are no guarantees. You have to start somewhere. They have worked very hard at this. But I do want the board to know, and I have expressed my concern to several of the board members, that this has to happen, it's a good project, but the bottom line is, I would like to see, and I don't have the answer as no one else does here, a way to do this so that the two paid people, not one paid person, because obviously with Mr. LaPlante, he is our most dedicated person there is. He is on every call. If anybody out in Scandal World listens, every ambulance call in Champlain, he is there within 30 seconds to a minute of almost every call that goes out as far as EMS. The problem is, he is the only person available. And the problem with hiring one person, the concern is, if Mr. LaPlante isn't in town, this paid person is going to be there in his place, who is going to drive him? And that's the only concern that we have. I know there's no guarantees, you have to start somewhere, but I just want to publicly state that it is conceivable, when you take over the whole township of Champlain, January 1st, 2004, if this is a favorable vote tonight, and the vote for the donation of the ambulance equipment, that it is conceivable that the paid people will not be in place until, sometime 2004, mid to whatever. I don't have dates, no one has dates. And I just want you all to be aware that could become an issue. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Anyone else? No one else? On to the meeting. Approval of the minutes of the meeting. Last meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the July 8th meeting.
Second. All in favor? Minutes for the zoning board, we don't have any. We didn't have a meeting to approve them, so we don't have that. We have Mike's court of enforcement report. And we've got the letter that Mike sent you. I got that right now. Sent us all on the trailers. We have a problem with some trailers around. Single wides are being abandoned. And we have some in the yard here that we have to get rid of. We have a couple in the yard that we have to get rid of.
We need more than that, and the yard's gotta be cleaned up.
If we tell people to remove them from their yard and they tell us we gotta clean up our own yard first, then I think that we should do that. Sam's having one taken away, right? Warren's taking his away. Want to go to subdivisions and that one now?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. On subdivisions, we don't vote on tonight, right?
It's up to the board. I've had a copy of this,
We vote to have a referendum, right, Mike?
for all the public hearing.
I gave you all a copy of the subdivision as it's been written by the attorney, and it was for your review. If you trust the zoning board, the people that worked on it, you could schedule a public hearing for next month's meeting. If not, you can take a month to look at it and then wait a month. It's up to you.
I'd rather,
I'll make a motion, we have a public hearing for the subdivision regulation for the next meeting.
do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'll look law to me.
Two more. Junk law.
I'll make a motion, we have a public hearing at the next meeting after the other one for the adult use and entertainment regulation law.
Adult was using.
You want the local law?
Did you say that?
I didn't know which one you said.
The adult,
Okay.
local law 3.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the junk vehicles? Junk and vehicle storage law?
Same thing, I'll make a motion that we, local law number 2, the junk vehicle storage law for next meeting, public hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? So we're gonna have 3 next month. Do we have to set times on that, Rob?
Well, I'll second.
When you put them in the paper? I received something today from the Clinton County Office of the Aging. If you guys remember, last year we were invited to the Legion to have dinner. It's on the 18th at 11:45. Then they're gonna have a meeting afterwards at 12:15, like we did last year. So if any of you guys wanna go,
What time's that?
11:45. Meeting's at 12:15. If you're gonna go, let me know.
I'll be there.
That's at the Legion, right?
Right. Ralph, you're going?
I'll go.
I'm going. Jules?
If I can get back in time for the other meeting, I shouldn't be back.
Clifford?
I don't think I can make it.
Okay. Okay, I have a letter from Celine. She couldn't make it tonight because the county's having their meeting. And they're talking about raising the sales tax from 3/4 cent. Make it 8 cents. And mostly on kind of Medicare or Medicaid. That's what you had to tell us. And then from the Chamber of Commerce, we've got a couple letters with the money that they're spending up to customs. And then that, if anybody wants to get one of those get a pass, and get through faster, it costs you $50. You have to go down to Chamber of Commerce and get it. And then we have the Water District, 276 Water District.
30 days has elapsed since the provincial resolution establishing the sewer district number 5 passed at our last meeting. No petitions have been received. The district is now official.
So we don't have to vote on this, right?
Nope.
We don't have to do anything else.
All done.
Okay. The next one is the agreement with the EMS service. Any discussion? I have a motion.
I make a motion we accept.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call vote. John Paul.
Yes.
Clifford.
Yes.
Leroy.
Aye.
Jules.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Next, we got one from the Industrial Development Agency telling us about you guys should read about the SECA and the land or building in Champlain Park. And Sam, this next one I have is, are you gonna do the one on the oil spills and that?
Well, I guess there's new rules and regulations coming out on it, but I think we're pretty well set.
We don't have nothing there.
We don't have anything buried, and they're all contained in a cement wall. I think we're pretty well set, unless you want to have these guys come down and inspect it.
Are we all right for the capacity of those?
I would say so, yeah. Because I just renewed the permits last year.
Yeah.
They're good for 5 or 6 years. This doesn't take effect till August of 2004.
But all our tanks are in dikes anyways, right?
Right.
So we should be okay.
We've only got 3. Oh, no, a minute, we got another one in the fuel room here.
Generator, right?
Yeah.
Is that a dike too?
I believe it is, I'll have to check it.
Okay.
That's that small one?
Yeah.
I don't think you need one for 275, do you?
Now it says the oil storage capacity includes containers of 55 gallons or larger.
If that's the case, you're going to have that all residential then.
I thought I read it was more than that.
Not to say you're gonna have to have it at home too.
Probably would hurt to call, just find out about that one tank, and that's gonna be involved.
Sam, we'll call him tomorrow.
Okay,
We'll talk to him.
okay.
Want to come in, we'll do it together, we want to do that?
Yep,
Then we'll see where we're going.
that's okay with me.
So for the 275?
And then we'll know.
Yeah.
And this is the one on your mining permit? I'm doing your work.
Yeah. We've got it. Everything seems to be okay.
Okay. And wait, Sam and I were over, we went with Sutherland, right? Went over after he did the survey of Mrs. Karen's piece.
Carrot. Carrot, Neil Carrot.
Yeah, okay. And that's all staked off, so that's done.
You put the higher stakes in them?
No, but he did tell us when the
Yeah, okay.
leaves get off, he'll go with us and show us. And then we have one, I'll do another one of yours, Sam. Let me do it. Outreach work, tell us about the domes for salt.
The ones that have collapsed, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had a problem with these salt domes that are collapsing on them, so they said if you have them inspected.
Like the state's cutting it?
Yeah. So just lucky nobody has been hurt when they fallen in, there was nobody inside.
I must have to worry about it.
And we got one from Dale Ferris, they're doing a mapping of the outlining areas around the village of Ross's Point. And we sent them to the county, because the county has what they really need.
We had nothing to get to him, but
No, county does. And the next one is what we sent out in the water survey. And I got one other thing. Pass one down. Dick Laura would like to swap some land with us. Where I have that T, that pie shape, that's town property, that's landlocked. What he would like to do is, if you notice right at the end, where I have the other red line, he'd like to give us that piece of pie for this other piece. This is this land in the back, and it's not valuable. I can't see where there's any value to it.
This your bingo for this?
He owns the big piece.
he owns this piece right here.
Yeah. And he'd like to trade for this piece here. He'd like to square off his property. He'd give us this here.
The other one. Who owns this little pie here now?
He does.
He does, right here?
Yeah.
Across there?
Yeah. When they sold the property, I don't know why they mapped it out like that.
I remember them talking about this, he said, 8 years ago they were talking about this thing. When it first came on here, they were talking about it.
Well, this area back here, who owns it? We own it?
We own this.
All the way to the thruway.
We own right
All the
there.
way to the thruway.
And this is a little piece of land, it's landlocked, it's no good to us. It make good neighbors, somebody's buying this piece of land, and they would like it squared up, and Dick would like to do it before he sells it.
It's okay with me.
I'd like the form of a motion,
Take a motion that we make this land swap here. Straighten these lines out.
do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
All right.
Can I add something to that? You should pay for the cost.
Yeah,
He
okay.
does?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Okay. I guess that's all I have. And, oh, Mike's not in here right now. Building committee. Clifford and Jules.
I have nothing at this time.
Grants committee. Ralph Goodman, John Ball.
sent out a survey to different people, and I got some feedback, and I didn't find any of them yet interested in the water.
I don't think people are understanding what we're trying to do.
No.
We just want a survey, see if they're interested.
Right, that's why I told them, said, we're not gonna do it unless anybody wants it. It's just a survey, find out where we stand.
We want to find out how many people are interested, and then we'll go ahead and do it.
The thing is with this survey, though, this survey covers the whole town, right?
No.
Parts of.
Well, in some of those areas, they're not gonna want water there anyway, right?
No, but we
But
asked.
I know, this is the way to do it. But the ones that are gonna come that want it, and that's the ones we're gonna be working on.
If nobody wants it, no use.
Oh, no, that's
spending
why I wanna
money
find out.
to Get it done.
As we keep hearing in the town that people want water, they want sewer, they want to do this and do that. And before we, the town, spends money for engineering services to do this, we sent these surveys out, and we'd like to get it back from the people. They're going to be kept confidential to find out if the people in these areas really want the water or the sewer, and we'll go from there, and if there's enough interest, then we will get an engineer. If there's no interest, then we won't spend the town money.
They're not gonna fill them out after that tonight.
I think it's very important that these people send these in, we gotta think, yes or no.
That's right.
You know that? I mean, these people should send this in, either say yes or say no.
If they don't want it,
Then it'd be a heck of a lot easier, you don't have to worry about, look, right now, somebody said, I want water, well, you gotta get the whole area that wants it, not just one person.
So getting that water thing, are you buying the same size pumps, or are you buying bigger?
Mine the same size. You guys thinking we need bigger pump?
Well, they've always complained on the pressure up there, I don't know why you're buying the same size.
You should have a bigger pump than we don't have.
Then you should have had an engineer or pump man look at it and tell you if you need a bigger pump.
Well, they always complain on pressure up there, and nobody's ever had any.
Must be something wrong.
I mean, they come 4 months later and complain about something.
The original pump that they put in wouldn't work because they had been told that the water pressure at the corner of the Ridge Road and Route 11 was whatever, 50 pounds or 30 pounds. And so they designed the pump to handle 30 up to 60 or whatever. And then they didn't have that 30, so it didn't work. So they had to go back and get a different pump that would handle the lower pressure at Ridge Road and Route 11.
And I think that's why the pumps are taking so long, because they're special built pumps. to do that.
Yeah, but didn't the village go with better pressure since then?
Not up there, because you're at the top, you're above that, you're almost at, even with the tank up there,
Your pressure is very low, I know that.
up there.
Yeah, but Jesus, they got an 8-inch pipe going up there, there should be enough water there.
But if you put bigger
Force
pumps.
to take care of the pumping it, that's only a
I remember
6-inch
something on the
line.
pumps
One
there.
up the ridge, right?
Paul said he never had any pressure in his house.
No, there, forget that, that's for sure.
6 inches is what they put, they wanted 8, and had them convinced.
Right,
Or
so
they have
they're
to go
pumping
down
out of
to
an
6.
8 into a 6.
Yeah, but
So, an 8 ought to have enough volume to,
it isn't the volume, there's no pressure.
no, I know, but that's what the pumps are there for. To create the pressure. Not the volume, they got the volume, they need pressure.
But I know that, I remember Ralph saying before, when I was up here, that was a big problem with the pumps.
Because how many residents are on that line anyway, the Wyatt line?
Maybe a dozen.
No, about 20, 25, I'd say.
I mean,
18 to 20.
Yeah, somewhere there.
Do you think so, Sam?
Yeah, somewhere in that area.
See, if he doesn't have enough pressure.
So they're all
pressure
taking
to
showers
line
in the
it up,
morning, it's gotta be
he's
pretty
out.
tough.
That's why they're having problems.
Maybe the new pump will work for a while, maybe it's been deteriorating, you know?
You don't feel that we should have somebody look at it?
Well, is it gonna do any good? You got them ordered, you're gonna be here
Well,
till 18.
if they're not gonna be the right ones, I didn't realize this already.
can you call the engineering firm that did this, which was 9 years ago approximately,
Yep.
and get some data from them, and tell you why you got that pump.
We got the set of books from that
Yeah.
company.
They tell you that if the village pressure hasn't increased, no sense increasing the pumps. It's not gonna be any better.
suck them dry.
Right.
No, but I'm saying, what's gonna happen? Say 10 people wanna build new homes up there between now and the next 5 years. Where are they gonna get their
After
water?
tonight's meeting, probably won't.
They better,
No, right, I know that.
they better build this side of where that is so I can put a well in.
First of all, if the town had bought all that land up there, we wouldn't have the problem at all.
I think, Randy, your answer to that, if they build more homes up there where they need, they'd have to put more storage up
Storage for
More storage, where
for
is it?
water. At the pump station, you have some tanks up there now.
That doesn't screen the pressure.
That regulates the pressure, right, but you need bigger ones if you did this, and more people got onto it.
Maybe you probably have to look and put in a tower on the end of the line. I mean, that's where you got your distilled water. If Aubrey don't use enough water, that water's dead in that line all the time,
Do you think that we should get somebody locally to look at this?
locally.
No.
Get the engineering firm to find out what,
These are special.
give you the data, what went on in the pressure.
I don't think locally anybody would know.
That's right. I'll talk to him, forget about Bobby.
I think you're talking to me, then doesn't, he's a pretty smart guy, but he's never had any experience, but
Oh, that's
If the
why
pump,
they're,
if the pump is too big, it's gonna suck the water out of that other pipe.
yeah.
Then you're gonna have another problem. That's why they call the engineering firm to design that thing and get it from them.
Because I
If they
remember,
increase the pressure there, that means you're gonna have more water, and they could probably increase harder. And if they didn't increase it, don't play with
it's
it.
like Ralph said, they had the wrong pumps, they had the pumps in. They had them wrong, they tried to, it didn't work, they had to get these special pumps to do this because of the pressure and everything up there.
Well, you just tell them it ain't working.
All right, we'll call them tomorrow.
I don't know if you had more customers
I
up there or
think that
not,
worked
but
in the beginning.
you got 18 people, that's not very satisfied, I know that.
Gotta be something wrong.
So why you got complaints on maybe that because
Well,
the
they might have
pump-
wore.
pumps probably wore
Either
out?
not
They are
using
wore
enough
out.
water
They were.
or something, it's
Pumps
just,
are
they're
completely
getting
wore out.
distilled water.
I'd be mad too.
That's why
It
you
shouldn't have been
always-
wore out this amount of time, really.
They need a bigger
You don't
tank,
even know
they need
what
a
kind of
tank
pumps
on the
they're
other end to create
That's like
pressure.
industrial pump?
It's a big problem.
I know, but it's industrial.
Yeah,
They need an engineer to figure it out, they had to do it in the village of Champlain.
They're industrial
I
pumps.
think,
Okay.
They are?
Yeah. And you know yourself, a pump doesn't wear out just overnight. It's gone over, that's why they kept losing, maybe they say for the last year and a half this has been happening. The pumps have been going down here. Nobody seemed to catch it. We didn't know anything about it. Nothing else, so nobody caught it or paid any attention to it until they completely had nothing but milky water.
Okay, we'll call them tomorrow, we'll find out.
I'll come up before I go down.
Highway Committee? Jules and Clifford.
I don't have nothing, I want to have.
Have you got a date set for the blacktop yet?
I'm waiting to hear from Rushford, be towards the end of the month.
He hasn't got back?
No.
Did you contact anybody at Stony Point?
I wanna wait till we find out when we're gonna pave, right?
No, we wanna know now if, say yes or no on their point. If they're not willing to give us that road, then we'll forget about it.
For a day, well, for half a day or whatever.
Well, I wouldn't, might as well say a day, because,
I got,
we don't wanna have cars lined up there waiting. That's for sure.
I got told that's a private property down there, and you're not supposed to park on that road.
You're not supposed to park on it.
What are we doing paving it then? People in the town are not gonna use
The
it.
cops are giving tickets out to fishermen parking on it, so why should you park on it?
I don't think we should be tarmacking it.
Tar it, and that's it.
Huh?
We're tired, it's already time.
It's a waste of money, police and, other roads are worse than that.
While you're on roads, I got one thing to ask Sam. Anyway, is everybody you doing the tarmacking, Sam, all your crew?
What's that?
Everybody you doing the tarmacking?
Is everybody doing it?
Yeah, all your crew, because we gotta get somebody out to cut these sides of the road.
Oh, I
It's
gotta
bad.
put the brush hog back on, we have to put the broom on, do some sweeping.
Well, I think we need to get that brush hog out there, because you've got grass growing up
We've
higher
been
than
over them all
cars.
once, we gotta go back over them again, I realize that.
I went down to Point Fair today, and you can't even hardly, you're gonna go over the road if you do.
Yep.
And
I
then
realize that.
Into South Street, it's never been done this year at all.
Well, I thought we went over all of them.
South Street was never done.
Okay.
So, I mean, we've got to get the
Skip that one.
roads cut. If you have to
Okay.
put a man on there for a month and that's all he does, that's all he does. But we're getting a lot of complaints that these roads are growing right up and they look bad.
Like I said, we've been over most of them.
Highway committee, anything else?
If you still got the Bill of Bombard's culvert there online
Yeah.
for this year, and the Leggett Road deal, finish that up.
Just as soon as we get our
We're not gonna
roads-
get him to do that, right?
No.
Okay, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, there's probably a day's work there, so.
Yeah.
As soon as we get our roads ready.
This kind of weather here, it's pretty hard to go down there anyway. Must be floating down there right now. Put the machine on the barge. That's all I got.
Just that, I said the guardrails look good and North Star Road looks good.
Agree with you. They did a nice job down in Rapids Road. I think they had a little hard luck because of water.
That job up on North Star Road, nice and clean, very good. Big improvement up there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think you guys did a good job after that rainstorm to wash out that culvert to get it back in and everything else, as fast as they did.
Got it back in
Worked
yesterday, yeah.
I think they did a good job on that.
Water and Sewer Committee,
Nothing.
Ralph and John Paul.
Nothing.
Landfill Committee, Jules and John Paul.
One question, when are you gonna mow that? When it dries up?
When it dries up, yeah.
They're all quiet, though.
You'll probably be able to mow it just once this year then if this time.
Never gonna dry up?
What?
Never gonna dry up, right there?
Well, it will on top and at the bottom.
No, that's
Probably
true.
I should go see after this
What?
rain. Should probably go see after this rain, if you got any water.
Yeah, we might have got, that's.
Could have to wash out or something.
I probably, take a run up there this week to check that out.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's it? Mike, do you have anything? I didn't get to you.
Yes, I got a couple things here. You did all the 3 local law, subdivision, adult entertainment, junkyard law. The letter on the trailer I sent you. I got a letter from you, from the Department of State, on more restrictive laws we have in the town. This had to deal with the floodplains in our code, which are more restrictive than the state. So I faxed them, or I filled out the paperwork from our law, which they required, and they have to make a determination as to whether or not that law will stand. The code council reviews this, and then they'll write the town back and with an answer of that. But right now, it's a more restrictive code than what's required by New York State. So we have to justify this, so I took care of that. Bruce asked me to take care of that. The other thing I got is I got a flyer in the mail from this company, this Medtronics, and what they sell are these AED machines, defibrillators. They sent me a whole packet, and what they are is if somebody has a heart attack, they're supposedly, it's a safety issue. There's 3 steps to using this machine, putting it on somebody to save their life. There's a little bit of training that's involved in this, and as the safety officer, we could do this as part of our safety training. It's a CPR course. It's a 3-hour course. Ken LaPlante, I talked to him about it. He told me that he thought we could purchase this thing on the state contract for about $1,300, but yesterday I called a woman in the state contract, and she gave me all the links, and there's many different companies that sell them. And the cheapest I could find was around $2,400. And this is strictly informational. I don't know what the board's feeling is on this, but this is a public building. These things are required in all school systems now, and they're getting to be more popular in public places. So people have a heart attack. It's not that only one person can use it. Everybody can use it if you have the minimal training. So, but there are more companies than what this one is. The only thing is, this was compatible with the Champlain Fire Department. Rouse's Point has the same machines, and they're all about the same price. I didn't see anything on there, but it's my understanding that sometimes state contracts aren't always the best deals. Sometimes, so I don't have any firm figures on it. I just wanted to bring it to your attention, see what you thought about it.
Can you see what you can come up with?
For a price, yeah.
Let us know for next meeting.
Yeah, well, if you buy over $100,000 of equipment, the price goes down dramatically, but.
Well, we could probably buy that through the Champlain Fire Department.
Well, like I say, I mean, wherever we can get the best deal, going on the internet and on the state contract, it was around $2,400. the school systems buy them for 1,900 under state contract. But I mean, I have no idea how this works, how you buy them, if you buy them privately or where, so. You know, this is just the first stage. If there was an interest in it, I'll keep looking. If there's no interest, well, then we'll drop it.
Yeah, because this building's being used a lot lately, so I think you ought to look into it.
Well, that's what I thought, that's what my feeling was, and I think it's a good thing. And
Is
part
this
of
something
this-
you would set up in the office area here, or?
Well, we talked about that, and we thought that it should be accessible between the office here and the back, and we thought where the window is back there, if we put a door, a window in the, between both sides there, and this is just an idea. I mean, I don't know where to put it, but it has to be accessible, it can't be locked up.
If we put it in here, and Sam's not around, and somebody has a heart attack in the back, nobody can get in there to get it. Right?
This could
Vice
be-
versa.
Right?
Yeah.
So if we put it with a two-way door
beside the window or something.
beside the window.
Here we go again.
I mean, it was just a
Everybody from
thought.
back there's in here all the time.
No, not with a little cabinet
The
like
size
this.
cabinet,
It's only a little small thing.
Just a small one. the
How
size-
big is this thing?
Oh,
It doesn't matter, I mean, it's just a cabinet size deal.
Oh, it's probably 10 inches square, maybe 4 or 5 inches thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What got in it?
It's got the electrodes, the paddles, it gives you the shock, and it's got 3 simple steps of instructions.
Yeah, we all have classes. We do this,
Test that on him.
Safety training.
safety training, that's just to be more of a safety training.
Your heart attack already?
Test that on you.
I'm sure Kenny will teach us.
Oh, I think it's a good idea, and I,
Okay, well, I'll try and get some firm numbers for the next meeting as what this would cost us.
Mike, does Burma furnish anything like that?
I don't know, like I say, I just got this card in the mail and it caught my attention and I called the company on it and they sent me all this information here and I talked to the Champlain EMS or Champlain.
maybe for the next meeting, this is just a thought, because I've never seen one, I mean, I've seen a picture of it, but ask Kenny to come back here with theirs, from the fire, their small ones, from the fire department. I think they have one just like it.
Yeah.
And bring it up here and show us
Yeah.
what it looks
It'd be
like.
nice to go look at this thing,
You know what I
then probably
mean?
get in their mind.
It'll give, and even, you know,
He's got,
it'd be better to see
Calvin,
something.
have you seen them up to the school yet?
They've got them, I haven't seen one, but they've got them.
In the halls or where?
I'm not sure where they put them, they've got.
He works up there,
they've got a
where
bunch
they
of
are.
them. You know, they've got them.
Yeah, they bought a lot of
Yeah,
them.
buy a
on
lot
the
of
bus.
I know from what I read, it's state law, they have to have them in schools.
Schools have to have them, yeah.
Well, schools would
Wasn't
have.
a choice,
Yeah.
wasn't a choice. They had-
They got
Probably in
one
the
in the
gym.
bus.
Nurse's office.
Sure, there's some gym, but I think they're spread out.
Nobody knows how to run it.
well, we'd have classes.
Imagine you're in the
No, I
cafeteria.
mean, you know, Bob, but
Yeah.
Maybe
kind of
have-
embarrassing to go.
And then they go put
It's
one
a
in each
3-hour
bus.
course to be certified to
You
use
could
this.
have
They will eventually, wait and see.
Everybody should have the CPR course anyways. Sam, have the guys had that in the back, CPR?
A few of them have. I know Warren has, Tim has, he's
But more through the fire department than through us, right?
through the fire department, yeah.
Okay. All right, this would be good.
I think.
Then everybody here would
Good thing.
have it.
And you've got a lot of old people that come in and out of here, not just because of old people, I mean, young people can have a heart attack too. But you have a lot of them come in and out of here that would be good to have
Yeah,
here.
Paul, talking about us.
You have anything else, Mike? Town clerk's report.
The only thing I have is a notice from the Great Shazy River Memorial Post that they are renewing their liquor license, expires on September 30th. So,
Sam, you have anything?
Well, not much left now. Talking
Done
about the
most of the road.
guardrails and North Star Road. We did fix up by the building here. We dug the dirt out and put the stones in.
See that, good.
We've been helping Moores and Altoona paving. We got those guys done. I'm waiting for Rushford to let me know when he can do ours. The bridge in Perry's Mills, we stripped, there was 2 layers of tarmac on it. So when we took the first layer off, the second layer looked good, so we got a hold of Dave. He came down and he dug a hole and checked the cement and he said everything's fine. Just put another thin layer over the top of the one that's there now. We've got the road raised, but there's not much we can do until it dries out. It's just soaked.
So when you lose that up there?
No, we're lucky.
No, but that new section, when
Yeah.
one of that didn't disappear.
It stayed there, but it's soft.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I got to, well, you know, we had to wash out on Rapids Road. The culvert went out, we put in 24 inches this time. And we got it well stoned in there, I don't think it'll happen again. Hopefully.
How did that, when I talk about that rapid road, they check that other culvert that's a little further down, the
We
big
have,
one?
the big one, no. That culvert the other night was, the gully was half full.
Well, that culvert is only half the size
Yeah,
it
we
should
gotta
be.
try to pry it up. somewhere.
Pry it up or something,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if a guy went there, I don't know if he could reach it with a hoe there or not.
I'm not sure. Gotta try to put something in there and bring it back. I don't know how it got bent.
Somebody was telling me they thought the ice did it.
The ice?
Ice,
It's possible.
I can't remember who told me that, but I was talking with somebody and they said, well, I said, I don't know how that could happen. He said, well, the ice did it. How, I don't know.
No, I don't know.
A big chunk of ice, I mean, it could have been, but
It's possible.
it's only about half right now, so
Yeah.
that doesn't help. And when you get that amount of rain we got the other night.
That was unreal. I suppose I might as well see if I can get approval for about 4,000 for screening again. That's gonna be coming up pretty soon.
I make a motion we give Sam $4,000 for screening.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
And the only thing I have is, I don't know how much I'll be around next week. I've been lucky enough to call to jury duty.
The Warren's gonna take your place?
Yeah. When I have to go, I mean, maybe I won't have to go down, maybe I'll be there every day, who knows? I gotta start calling Sunday night.
Fine, eh?
And that's
It's a lot
all I
better
have.
than going. That calling's the best thing ever happened.
That's better than driving down every day.
Yeah.
Anything else, Sam?
No.
Post audit bills?
I'll make a motion, we pay the post audit bills.
Have a second? All in favor? Approve the monthly bills.
So moved.
I have one to read.
Read it.
I'm sure it has to be.
500, number 10 regular envelope, $34.25.
Second on the bill.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody from the public?
Yep. You think you might be doing something about Wyeth?
Yeah, anybody interested in doing it? Helping out? I will.
I'll help you.
Okay.
I think somebody who was trying to, how you gonna word this thing out?
The Rouse's Point thing.
I think it should be Leroy because they're all Republicans up high.
Get a copy of what Rouse's Point said, we gotta get some.
Well, I mean, get some,
True.
I did that once before, I can't remember for who, and that's why I was just trying to think.
But you got Schumer and,
Bruce would be on that side.
We should get one first. No, I mean, you wanna get this,
Yeah, all right.
and I think you should get the surrounding towns involved.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna talk with Celine.
on this thing.
I think you gotta say something, because you never know what can happen.
You know, if you do nothing, you can always wish you had done something. So,
No, you go into another party like you just had, like you went to
yeah,
last
that's
week.
right. Well,
No, we're trying to do something.
And this one would be a lot worse.
yeah, yeah. Right now, they're just losing the tax base with the,
Yeah.
to get the job, just losing the tax base.
Your house won't be worth a cent if that's.
Yeah. And soccer season is here. Any thoughts on the park?
Well, we were left 8 acres of land by the Karens,
Mrs. Coyle.
Mrs. Coral.
That's at Route 11 by the cornfield?
Yeah.
In the cornfield.
Yeah, I've driven by there. That looks kind of low.
No, this is way behind the
No, it's
cornfield.
not
Way
low.
behind.
In the cornfield,
We have a
high.
right, we have 100-foot right-of-way right through the cornfield back to this property. And this property is way up high. we're gonna take the backhoe one of these days, Jules and I, and go up and do some test holes up there and see if we can get a good-sized dozer up there and level it all off and try to get it ready for spring. Make some kind of Champlain Park or something up there.
Huh?
You know,
Well, I talked with Linda today for that, the commission. They don't need the fields now. At one time they did, now they don't need them, so we don't need no more fields right now. Because I talked with Mudville Park to see if we could get a field from them for this year, for the kids, but they don't need it. And also Brinks, I can't think of it, Brian Brinks in Paris Mills, that one that owns the land next to our park up there, would let us use that land for another soccer field. So, and they don't need it, so we're all set on soccer fields. At one time they did need it, now they don't need it.
Okay, well, I also gave some good reasons here for the history of the area to keep this land green and to keep this in the town. We're looking to donate it to the town. You know, that's the situation.
Linda, was the land any good without the building, no? That's the historic, it's all in that building.
Well, that property was where these soldiers and Indians and voltigeurs were camping. The officers were in the building.
Yeah, I know.
The 14,000 troops were,
The guy that wrote the book, he's to my house 2 times a week.
well, he wrote, that little,
He,
history of, well, you got the plan, he's
He
developed.
does a
the
lot
plan more.
of digging there and
Yeah.
stuff, and he's found a lot of buckles and stuff. It really is.
And if we don't preserve this piece of our history, and like I said, it's international history, it's not just our history. There are Canadian, there are British soldiers, not where that park is, but nearby there, that are buried there. Actually, there should be some kind of markers there to indicate this, but there isn't.
Yeah, we should.
It's not a historic site in the historical register?
No, but you gotta start it at our level to get these things to happen. And, 25 years from now, between Champlain and Rouse's Point, that's all gonna be, you can see it every year. More and more gets developed around Route 11. After that's done, Prospect Hill Road's gonna be developed.
Nothing happens to that place we're talking about. Then you see ghosts down there.
There's close, you won't need nothing.
So anyway, we're looking to donate it to the town. We can use it as Jay-Z has for their picnics and stuff. There's other uses. We put up historical markers there to, it's a gift horse.
You have tonight when they're ready, we're talking about it. Right? Okay?
Yeah.
Well, we'll be ready very shortly, just,
Need a motion to adjourn?
No, we need to go to executive session on the golf course. Need a motion for that.
So make a motion, we have an executive session
Second it.
on the golf course.
All in favor?
very wet.